It never is a dull moment in my home. I love that.
Right?
Right? I just love
Never.
that. I love that. Screaming in the background, football. I don't know who went up or down or what happened, but I'll find out because I will. I will.
Right.
Isn't that the beauty of life? Not knowing. Not knowing. We're here today to talk about courage under fire. We're here today to talk about the beauty of boundaries, values, and principles. Wow. Wow. That's a big topic, isn't it?
That's a huge topic.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
for everybody.
Well, I mean, I've got a few beautiful things in here. Um, yeah, this one.
Hmm. That's a true story.
Settling for less. Boy, oh, it just makes me itch. Just makes me itch. It really does. Um, Guilty.
Well, me too. And I mean, what we may consider settling for less, others may consider not settling for less. That might be what they need for them.
Yeah.
And everybody is so different to what their needs are, and it's so wonderful that when a person can take a step back, take that breath and say, okay, no, I am worth more. I you know I require more from my life, and this is what I'm going to do to take the steps to get there.
Well, and you feel it. You,
Mhm.
you feel it. It's that whisper that says no,
Mhm.
and that gut reaction. We were just talking about football, and it's that feeling that someone's coming in and they're going to tackle you right there, and you're like, no, right? I'm not. I will not. I cannot.
Mhm.
I cannot do that. Um, but that's being human, going through the ups and downs and the
Well,
sideways motion.
and that's really what it's all about, right? And like we've had this discussion before, but I mean, it's worth having again. I think that if we all went through life having that perfect day every day, how interesting would it be? Right? We need to have that balance of energies. We need to have that good with the bad. I mean, there's no good or bad, but you need to have the challenging situations in your life to learn from so that you can grow and reach for more.
Yeah. Food poisoning. You only have to do that a few times before you're like, well, I might not eat at that restaurant or that meal, right? It's just like it starts coming out your nose, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just not doing that anymore. Every day too, every single day, I find that I am in that well, the challenges and the obstacles,
Hmm.
challenges and the obstacles. Energy management,
Yeah.
energy management, and I think one of the greatest ways to know is to never lower your energy to match someone else's.
Yeah, you need to stay in your own lane and keep your energy where it needs to be. I mean,
Yeah,
you can meet somebody where they're at and have empathy and compassion, but what I've found for myself, if I lower my energy vibrations, I'm just tired by the end of the day.
oh gosh, that, yeah, or angry and bitter and resentful. And I mean, there's so much that's available in our world right now to tune into, whether that's
Mhm.
social media or television or and we can get caught up in the fear mongering.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can get caught, or the festivities of fighting.
right. And that's just never any fun.
I like a good fight, you know that. I love, 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 love. I mean, not that. I'm not that. I enjoy the camaraderie of sitting
Mhm.
around and watching the fighters of our world. I really, really do enjoy that. I think that there's a big, big impact that those who are willing to risk it for the biscuit can make. I mean, throw a biscuit in the middle of a bunch of hungry boys and see what happens. I mean, that was just my dinner table, right? Hey, George.
Hello. So I went to your page, your Nancy Nance, and the live never did pop up on there, girl. So
Yeah, it's saying the content isn't found. I just noticed that myself.
Well, then
yeah,
we're just gonna rock the replay.
yeah, I figured I better just get back in here.
Rock the replay. So we were talking about the cost of settling for less. It's huge.
Yeah, the cost will be a lot if we settle for less right now. They are taking away our freedoms slowly.
Well,
You know?
it's in the little choices. It's the
Yeah.
little choices.
You know, the analogy that I make, what most people will catch on to, it's like a dog on a long chain, and every week they take one link off, and then after a few months or a year or whatever of taking one link off, you're sitting on the porch and you think it's normal.
And then it comes off and you don't even move. It's the cage. It's the cage.
Exactly.
I write about that in my memoir, about the cage, being in the cage and yet not leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Being in the cage and yet not leaving. Beware of it, right? Beware of it. Ladies out there who are if you've been abused once, you're in an abusive relationship. If you've been abused twice, you're in a battered relationship. And if we look at that in the community of life, man, don't even get me started talking about my mortgage. It's brutal. It's brutal. And it can't be an option anymore. We can't option out of these big decisions that affect ourselves, our family, and our children. No. So let's talk about values. My values are very simple. Family. I've got a tattoo that says family first with mom in the middle. It's like a badge. It's like a sheriff's badge. And I will do anything to move the boundaries for my children. And that means me stepping up to the plate. We were talking earlier about our kids and how we can't necessarily convince them to study hard and work hard. Yet we can study hard and work hard. Daphne, you came back from a near-death experience.
Yes, I did. And you would like me to share about how I worked hard to come back? Yeah, when I was 15, George wouldn't know this, but when I was 15, I was involved in a near-fatal car accident and came back from a massive closed head brain injury. I was on full life support for 2 weeks, and I was in a coma for 18 days. And when I came out of that coma, I mean, I wasn't supposed to live. They wanted to harvest my organs that night. Luckily, my parents said, no, hook her up to life support. So I got that second chance. And when I came out of the coma, I mean, I had to learn to walk, talk, feed myself, dress myself, everything again. But I am grateful for that experience because, yeah, I had to work hard. And yes, it was not easy learning how to, I mean, my brain knew how to do all of these things, but my body I had to rewire my brain. And it wasn't easy. But every day I got up and I did one thing to, help me get better. And thankfully, the puzzle pieces all fit together and I'm able to be here to help others do the same. And so when somebody says my feet hurt, I said, yeah, my dad used to tell me, I used to complain that my feet hurt until I seen a man that had no feet, which really put things into perspective for me of, yeah, maybe I'm in debt a little bit, but I've got a beautiful home. I've got food in my fridge and it's warm. Life is good. That's how I roll.
Well, I'm glad you come back out of that. That's good.
Thanks,
you had
George.
A second chance, and that you're making the best of your second chance. I've had more than second chances in my life. I mean, I was never per se like at the same point you were at, but when it comes to near-death experiences, I walked away from them. Should have been badly hurt or gone, and I walked away. So faith over fear.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
me,
I've got the
yeah.
bracelet. I didn't wear it. I've got a bracelet. Bracelet that says faith over fear. It's valuable. It's valuable, and when you have a faith in something greater than yourself, you've got an ally for life.
Mhm.
That's a good feeling.
Mhm.
That's a really good feeling.
And I didn't, I always knew something was there watching over me, and I always had a feeling, and I didn't know what my purpose was and stuff like that. I was always just kind of beside myself. But after my awakening, it all made sense. My whole life, and now I know after I experienced my awakening, I'm a true believer in Jesus Christ and God, and I'm not religious by any means. I have went through the Bible, a couple different versions of it, and but I don't need that book. I need to walk with Jesus, and I need to know God's got my back. That's where I'm at with it. So
It's valuable. I'm lighting a small smudge here. Oops. We just a little bit. It's the secret.
I see flames.
You're trying to heat the house or what? It's supposed to smoke, not burn.
Oh, we've got some sweet grass. We've got some cedar. We've got some red willow and a beautiful, beautiful piece of mushroom. I smudge often. Oh, here we go. Now I'm gonna cover it up a bit because if the smoke alarm goes off, it's a problem. The traditions for me are the grounding for me, and I use the 4 elements in my everyday practice. Water, I every morning shower, and I use my Reiki to bring myself into the place that I need to be, which is where my light shines from. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, and it's valuable not just to me, but the ripple effect to everybody in my life. Because my family has the lineage of addiction. So when I work on me, man, it's powerful. It's super, super powerful. Not everybody.
I think it's very important at this point in history, in this point in time, that everybody is working on themselves, and do things from the heart. It's a very important time in history for people to pay attention to themselves, their trauma, things that have happened in their life in general, and learn from it and move forward in a healthy manner. And I mean, I've been doing it as hard as it is. I come from addicts as well, alcoholics, a lot of drinking in my family, but mine was drugs, and I've been doing very well with it. It took me a long time to get where I'm at, and I think God uses people that have went through the hard times and stuff in a different manner than others, because we know we've experienced the hell. We've experienced hell. That's what I say. Because you walk through it. You walk through it.
When you wake up, when I woke up after a weekend bender from crack, I did not feel good.
No, I went 9 days on that stuff once without eating or sleeping. Not good. No, I was skinny. My pants, I didn't even have no more notches on my belt. My pants would just fall down. So, and I talk about a lot of my addiction with people and stuff. I don't talk too openly about it online, but I put myself out there to people who want to contact me and talk about it. And no matter what I'm going through, no matter whatever kind of hard time I'm having at the moment, I'll still make time for somebody else to try and pull them out of that addiction, whether it be alcohol or drugs, and just share my stories and how I did it, and some of the things that I went through, and and I think we need more of that. The people out there need to speak about it, and it's not only healing for yourself, you're also helping other people, because the more you speak about it, the more you heal, like really. And I think Nancy, you could definitely, you're definitely in line with that too, right? So.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, we've all got different bumps along the path. For me, codependency was massive, man. I went through 25 years of codependency. That was just That was a life. I mean, that was a lifetime. It was a lot more than 10 years. It was a lifetime. And now that I'm writing about it, it's a challenge because you go back to that environment, but with the right people in my life, I'm able to stay the course. I got strong principles. Family first. Me and my boys have it tattooed on our bodies, like I said before, and quitters never win and winners never quit. Faith over fear, like we were talking about. You know, there's so many things in my life I look back on, and the try with oomph to triumph. That was when I used to watch The Hour of Power with my mom and Billy Graham. Great memories, great memories. Time spent with my mom is very valuable to me. And as her health declines, it's a priority. It's a big, big, big priority.
Yeah.
How do you determine what's a priority in your life?
Right now, it's how do I determine what's a priority? I listen to my gut. Basically, it's God telling me which way to go and which way to turn. In my mind, I'm very much involved in a lot of stuff that's going on in the freedom movement, and I have been ever since my awakening. I have the first freedom truck in all of Canada, possibly the world. So I kind of just follow that gut feeling, and if it's time to go, it's time to go. I'll drop my job, and like just like we did at the convoy, going to the teepees where I met you, Nancy, in 2021. I wake up in the morning and I'm bawling my eyes out. I don't know what's going on. I'm having some sort of an episode that I never had before. And so I pray on it, and I open up my phone and there's Pat King on his way to the ledge. And I'm like, well, there it is. Pack my stuff up and away I go, So
I'll always remember that day. I'll always remember the first day that I met you guys. And I'd been called to come to the ledge grounds. I've been having dreams about the king. And it was Elvis in my dreams. And I called my sister-in-law, and she's really tuned in and tapped into spirit. And I'm like, what the heck is up with this? And she's like, what? You haven't heard about Pat King? And I'm like, no. So I went down to the ledge and I met Grant. He was my first meet. And then you and a couple other people. And then when I met Pat, not knowing much about him, I was explaining to him reflexology, and I didn't realize that he didn't have 2 feet.
Yeah. That's good. Didn't work out so good on me.
No. And then I said, I put my foot in my mouth. I'm like, I'm just stopping now. Right? I'm just going to stop. I was so nervous because I didn't know what it would be like putting myself out there. I didn't know what that would feel like. And I was afraid. We see all of the propaganda on the television and movies.
Yeah. That's the thing though, like you can't be afraid to put ourselves out there anymore. We got to speak up, and we got to help each other. There's no other way to heal this. There's no other way to fix what's going on, but is to help each other through love and compassion and loyalty, and which is very hard to find now because they've taken it away. They have programmed us so bad through these subliminal messages and the movies and the cartoons and all of it. It's very sad to see what society's actually become. To rat out your neighbor for not wearing a mask or having an extra 2 people over at their house or something like that. Like, how did we ever get to that point? Yeah. It's just it blows my mind still to this day. I'm talking to people that don't even know what, like say the 2021 agenda or the Great Reset or the WEF or something. They don't even know. I'm like, what? Like, what?
It is. It's frightening. It's frightening.
So when they do find out, they don't have care to help their neighbors anymore. They don't even know their neighbors.
Yeah. You hear that knock, knock, knock on the door, and wow. I mean,
who are you? I'm the guy who lived next door for the last 5 years.
Yeah, they're used to skip the dishes is okay. We skip the dishes and we skip the neighbor.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
And they got everybody living in fear, right? So I mean, like you said, there's many out there that support, say the freedom movement, say support it, but they don't want to come down because they don't want to have their picture that they're there. They're scared, and stuff. And just don't be. We need everybody out there speaking, being kind while doing so as well. Being loving and caring, and just learn.
Yeah, I mean, go get donuts, get coffee, do those things that you can do for your neighbor every single day. One of the greatest things that happened to me after Emily passed away was a dear friend. She made me pork chops and mashed potatoes and brought me a blanket. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. We heart and we thumbs up and we scroll.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say today, it snowed here in Edmonton, and our neighbor has one of those snowblower things, and he blew the snow off our sidewalks. I'm like, yes! So I sent him a message thanking him, and next time it snows, we'll shovel his sidewalk. We're lucky we have some really good neighbors. We're good that way, but just being kind to each other.
Yeah, every neighborhood could be like that, right? If everybody pitched in a little.
Get a side hustle. Get a side hustle. And that doesn't mean that you've got to get a job. It means that you can hustle on the side and do things for other people. If you knit socks for the homeless. Go out there and shovel the entire neighborhood. If you don't have a job and you go out there and shovel the neighborhood, second time you go out there, they'll recognize you. Third time, they might hire you. Get off your assets and get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And boy, do we ever got a homeless problem now in our country. So, I mean, it's always been here, but I think it's like pretty much quadrupled now. So
it's everywhere.
And it's hard to help other people right now because, people are struggling to help themselves. So how do you get out there? They're struggling to keep their own power on and food on the table. So even just a smile, hold the door for a little old lady, help her across the sidewalk on the ice, whatever. Every little bit adds up and it makes somebody's day. You have no idea what a smile will do. Everywhere I go, I'm pretty much smiling. If I'm thinking too hard in my brain, sometimes I'm not smiling, but I'm pretty bubbly wherever I'm going, and I'm helping and just doing what I can and laughing and joking and trying to keep spirits up with people because they're hurting so bad.
Well, and I mean, when you're driving, you're at a stoplight. It's a red light. What do? You look at your neighbor and you smile. You honk and you wave.
A lot of people don't like that honking anymore.
I know. I saw a really funny video on TikTok. There was this old lady, and she says, "And now that I'm in my age," she goes, "I love the sound of the toot." She had this fantastic British accent, and she goes, "I just sit at the stoplight and I wait. Oh, there it is, toot toot." And then she waited a little bit longer. They said, "Oh, look, they're going to toot some more," And I mean, it was beautiful. Have the spread joy, sprinkle sparkles everywhere you go. Daph, you say something to people quite often about your day.
Oh, that I'm magical? When people ask me how I'm doing today, I say that I'm magical. And they look at me kind of, pardon me. And I say, well, you know what? Magical can be different to everybody. And for me, I say magical because I'm always having a good day. I mean, if I think about it, I could just not be here, period, because of what I went through when I was younger. So I'm having a magical day. I woke up. I got dressed. Life is good.
I got a friend that I work for. I did not a couple summers in a row, and he says, "Fantastic. I'm fantastic. Everything is fantastic." Okay. And I went to pick up some parts in like another town about an hour away from us. We broke down on the farm there. And I said, "I'm coming in to get some parts for Brian." And the girl looks at me, "Oh, Mr. Fantastic?" He started laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, that's the guy." And I'm like, "Fantastic." He gives me the parts and I'm like, "Fantastic." And I walked out.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I say to people, build a bridge of forgiveness and get over it. We've run into a lot. I remember when I was going through the great timeout, I call it, and I'm a very strong believer in my sovereignty of health. And somebody wished me harm because I chose not to do what they had done. And they said, well, when you're in the hospital on a ventilator, don't call me.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
Mm.
And I baked them a cake, delivered it with a thank you card. And thank you for your friendship.
Yeah. Are you friends anymore?
Acquaintances.
Yeah. Did
Satellites.
they eat the cake? Did they eat the cake?
Ate the cake. And it was a good cake. It was a good cake. It wasn't a
cake
or anything.
That's good. Good for you doing that. And you know, it's a lot of that happened. It was absolutely. I just think back to what they were saying about people that weren't taking it, wishing death upon them, and all that stuff. And we were wishing them health and I hope you're okay after you do it. You know, they were taking it, and we weren't wishing them death. You know, and we're not taking it, and they're wishing us death. And now look what's happening, right?
It's hard.
I don't blame them. They were coerced in so many different ways and stuff. But the ones that were saying things like that, I would bake them a cake or whatever, but I would just be acquaintances or less at that point.
It's a trauma. It's a trauma response, though, George. It's trauma response. They're broken on the inside, and if you don't know that you're broken, you don't know that you're broken. And Daphne, you remember the time I told you that Emily and I were at the park, and she kept on toddling over to this man, toddling over, and then finally I'm like, okay, let's go. So we went over to this man, and she touched his skin. She said, ow.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And I'm like, oh gosh. My daughter's never seen a man of color before. She thinks you're burnt.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She didn't know. I do not teach my children the difference between skin. It's just skin. We've all got this sparkle sack that we live in.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah, which you didn't know. And that's where the racism comes in the divide with everything else. It causes a whole another conversation and a whole bunch more pain and trauma and everything else too, right? I think like you had forgiveness up there a little while ago, and that's huge right now. And I've had a lot of people. I've done a lot of bad things to people in my past, and I outright in my prayers have forgiven myself for doing it. You know, because I don't know where they are and whatever, but I've said sorry to them and forgave myself for doing it and moved forward. And I've forgiven some people that done bad things to me without talking to them. Just in my prayers, I've forgiven them, and I think it's helped me a lot, just in my mind and in my heart, you know, and in my spirit. And I think a lot of people need to do that. If you can do it face to face and forgive people, it's obviously going to work a little better, no matter which way they treat you. But you know, just do it yourself if you can.
Absolutely. Write a letter, mail it. Write a few and mail it to a few people. You know, there's so many options that are available to us. And then we remove that blockage. Is that a good word, Daph? Blockage in our body?
Blockage is a good word. I mean, I was just thinking you have the faith over fear. And I think when I see that, I think it's either fear or love, and I choose love. And when we can all choose love over fear, the ripples that it sends out. I mean, and you guys both know this and probably agree with me when I say this, but like opening the door, smiling, you know, I was at the store the other day, and there was like different people there, and you know, my husband and I were getting groceries, and we're joking back and forth and telling everybody to have a good day and smiling, and just the energy we could feel in the room lift as we did that. You know, just something as simple as that, sending the love out every day, I think helps things. Yes, face everything and rise. I mean, fear has so many meanings, but I choose love.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You know, after my awakening, I was screaming freedom and speaking love, 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 love. Everybody thought I was losing my mind, even my parents, my kids, everybody. But I mean, subconsciously, I knew that's the way. That's the only way we get to fix this is through love, right? And obviously fighting for our freedom. There's lots of different ways, but in the whole end game, we need to start loving each other, not in love, but just love each other as human.
Oh, it's a different kind of love. Yeah.
As humans, the human race,
Mhm.
not the white people, the black people, the brown people, nothing. We're all the same, and we're all connected. And I didn't realize how connected we were until I had my awakening, and I seen over my eyes with everything all weaved together. It was all up in the air, right? We're all connected, 100%. I believe it with every ounce of my soul. And so our energy passes on, like you said. You were doing it in a store, right? And the energy goes out, and it just depends what other people want to do with it, to keep it going or not. They want to stop it or keep it flowing.
Well, like when I was back in school to be a rehabilitation practitioner a few years ago, let's just say a few years ago, it was about 20 years ago. But one of my instructors, one of the professors, had this mobile, and they were showing us how in a family, if one person in the family is affected, how it affects, if you pump one side of the mobile, how the other side moves too. You know what I mean? That's not a very good rendition, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
How if one part of the mobile is affected, the other part's affected too. And such as life, such as humanity. If one portion of humanity is affected, so is everybody else, right?
Yep. 100%. And I say that kind of another analogy about our country being a human body, right? And every part of the country is an arm and is a leg, and Ottawa is supposed to be our brain, and obviously we don't have a brain right now, so we need to chop it off. But if everything is working good in our country, then it's like a human body. But if your leg is not working, well, then your body's not working properly, right? It's like, so it all works together.
It all works together, and you meet the right people at the right time. It's opportunity or it's obstacle.
That's a big part of figuring out if God has sent that person there or the devil has sent that person there. And that's when your intuition comes in. That's when that first initial feeling in your gut, that you'll know, but you need to be in tune with it. So stop doing hard drugs and stop drinking all the time.
Well, and I like Nancy's word. She uses Gus, God, universe, source.
Yeah.
I mean, because
like it says here, Satan had a plan. But God already has a purpose, and the purpose is you. What you can give to your family. If you start with that circle first, family first, then you work into the friends, then you work into community, city, province, country, and then you cross the border into North America, South America, the Americas. I mean, we have got great allies in so many structures within our world. I mean, look at how all the sports does it. If the NFL, if the NHL can do it, why can't we?
Just saying.
That's all I got to say about that. Why can't we? Yeah. It's a challenge, man, because we've had it all taken away from us. Like, a lot of stuff is a lie. A lot of the stuff we've been taught in schools and through books and everything, it's all coming out to be bad for us, bad against us, and everything's been changed, and it's hard to wrap your head around when a lot of this information is coming out now. So I try to back away from a lot of it now. You get too far into that, and that's a trap too, as well. Saturation of information, right?
Yes.
And you don't know what's true and what's not true, and you start going down these rabbit holes and this way and that way, and then pretty soon you're just on your phone for hours and hours and hours doing nothing but scrolling and getting all twisted up in the head. And,
and then you start making beef jerky. Lots of beef jerky.
Is that what you did?
No. That's what happened, right? Like, oh my God, I've got to go to the store and I've got to buy a lot of stuff because then I'll have food and I'll be safe.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll be safe, because safety is what when I'm becoming an end-of-life doula, I'm actually already an animal companion end-of-life doula, but I'm doing the person component. And we have an innate desire to live. We just want to live. And we are afraid of not being able to breathe. We're afraid of not being able to eat. We're afraid of not being able to care for our children. But if we have faith, I mean, hold your breath.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
It don't work.
Well, for a while, for as long as you can do it.
And then you will eventually go and take a breath, right?
Like underwater.
And when people say I can't, you are.
Yeah.
You are.
No, anything's possible. Anything's possible.
It's the word. I'm possible. It's the word impossible. There's no impossible. It's I'm possible.
Yeah, insert apostrophe. Yeah. And when we can empower our family and friends to do great things. I mean, I've got a son that's got a roofing company in Kelowna. When he was 3 years old, he was climbing trees. When he was a teenager, he was washing windows on skyscrapers and stuff. He had that in him. We've all got a gift.
Mm-hmm.
We've all got a gift. Use it. Don't waste another day.
That's right. You got to find it. Find your purpose. And I didn't. My life makes sense now, and how everything happened. I got sick, and they weren't life threatening, but they were pretty dangerous situations. Between diverticulosis in my intestine and a tumor in my head and all this stuff, and that really knocked me back down to like, okay, I got to stop like drinking, and I'm going to stop partying, and I'm stopping going out. I want to eat healthy, and then it led right into the awakening, and it makes sense because I wouldn't have had my awakening if I was high on drugs and I was drinking all the time. It's just not possible. You're not going to find your spirit. You're not going to get in touch with your higher power, because that stuff is there to keep us down. That stuff is there to poison us and kill us.
Oh, you mean like the marijuana that the slaves smoked?
Yeah.
That's what the plantation owners did, is they grew marijuana, gave it to slaves. Slaves were quiet. Thank you, JT, for all the marijuana.
Yeah, betcha. Yeah. And look what's happening in BC right now. They got the highest overdose rate they've ever had. And you're allowed to walk around with 2.5 grams of crack, coke, meth. You can smoke it right in front of the damn cops.
It's insane.
And fentanyl, like they're giving it to kids. Safe supply of fentanyl and stuff like that. Like, give your head a shake, man. There's no safe supply of fentanyl. That stuff is killing people. Like, and it's all part of the agenda, right? It's all part of that sucker right up there. And it's sad.
And if we can begin creating our own personal boundaries, bam, so much change. I will never. I got a lot of nevers in my life. Spirit's just being sassy right now. Right, but I will never crawl back into bed with people who have wronged me in a way that has taken away from my ability to provide finances for my children or a safe home or anything like that. I will not.
Yep.
I will never.
My boundaries for I can't go around any of my old friends basically that are still in that world. I just can't do it. I tried. When was it? 2020, summer 2020, I believe it was 21. It was summer 2021, and I was getting out of the cocaine business there, working really hard at it. And I called up one of my friends. We would go quadding, and we had a couple beers or whatever. It's hot, and we just I had a couple actually twisted teas just to sip on there, and we stop, and then he just pulls out the coke. He's like, "Hey man, you want to do some rails?" And I'm like, "What?" Like,
yeah.
What? Like, seriously? Like, that was the last time I go with him. It's like, so my boundaries are because of like that little story there. You just can't. You have to have a different group of people around you. That's the biggest one for addictions. It just, you have to change your friends. And I don't do good with the liars, the cheats, the manipulators, the clickbait ones and stuff like that. I just can't do it now. I see it right away too. You can feel it before you see it now. It's pretty cool and also a little disturbing, I guess. It's like, damn, I can't hang out with you either. You're such a liar.
It's true. It's true. Daph?
Yeah.
Well, don't they say you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with? Who are you
Yeah.
spending the most time with? That was one on my healing journey that I
Yeah.
really had to repeat to myself lots. Is this person helping me grow, or is this person holding me back? It's that story of the crabs in the bucket. If you're a crab in the bucket and you're trying to crawl out of the bucket, the other crabs are trying to pull you back down.
Yeah.
So I mean, for myself, I can't speak for you guys, but for myself on my healing journey, I had to make sure that I wasn't hanging around with those crabs anymore.
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
I spend time with people that I wanted to that could help me live my best life,
Mm-hmm.
and to help me learn and to help me grow. And if you weren't helping me learn or grow something this year, I've really made a point to, if somebody doesn't want to make the effort to spend time with, like, to be with me or to spend time with me to help me learn something, I don't go out of my way to spend time with them. And gratitude, Nancy, we could talk about gratitude all day. That's the first thing we do every day.
Gratitude.
First thing I do when I wake up in the morning, what am I grateful for? And I mean, I've got people in my life too that say, at the end of the day, I just say everything that I'm grateful for. But I mean, we have done gratitudes for so many years that I wake up and I set my intentions for gratitude. So I'm grateful for stuff that hasn't even happened yet. But let me tell you, I have created so many manifestations in my life through gratitudes.
I like that one, Daph. That's a really cool way of doing it too, because we're grateful. But when we're grateful for the things that are coming into our life and speak them into being as though they are here.
Yep.
I'm grateful for my best-selling memoir, Exponential Joy. That's going to be on it's happening. I've got my editor, got my publisher. It's happening. And I mean, it takes a lot of dedication to do the things that we are doing, all 3 of us. Huge dedication.
Yeah, you bet. You got, and manifestation is real, 110%. And they're trying to hide that from us. We have the power. We have the power. It's there.
I have a new furnace and air conditioner because of manifestation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Daphne needed a furnace, and her mom entered a contest on Kissin' FM, and bam, that way.
My biggest story about manifestation was, in the freedom movement, I have spent all my money, my savings. I'm in the hole, like credit and stuff, and I know I'm going to get it all back eventually, and I'm not too worried about it. But up the road, it ended up being up for sale. There's 320 acres and a house and stuff. But here's how it become. I was 3 days before that, I'm at the store in town and I'm playing the lottery. I'm trying to win some money, so I'm playing Lotto Max or something. And I'm sitting in the parking lot with my ticket before I go in, and I'm like, "Come on, father!" I was like, "Just $500,000, like just I just need it, so just pay off everything and just keep freedom fighting." I went in, nothing, not even a free ticket. I'm like, and I go outside, and 3 days later, I end up finding out this place is for sale up the road from me, and the guy was giving it away, and I basically made about $500,000 on paper. Yeah.
By taking action.
Taking action.
But you had to take action on it. You can't manifest from a couch eating Cheetos if you're looking for a relationship, unless you want a relationship with Cheetos.
Exactly. Yeah, like God doesn't want you to just sit there and pray. He wants you to pray, and he wants you to get out there and do something. Yeah. So it's
so true.
That's the way I see it, anyways, and that's the way it's been for me. We're not just gonna. Jesus isn't just gonna come swooping on in and everything's gonna be fine. Jesus has already given his life, and he's in our hearts. That's what I believe, and I believe he's already here. He's always been here, and he wants us to do the work as good, loving, caring humans.
Absolutely. There's a beauty in oh my goodness. Here we go. My buddy Steven.
Never broke my heart. Right on.
Stephen and I
great,
worked at
Steven.
the same company, and I kept him. I kept him. You know, when I left the corporate world and moved into a different understanding of what my life was and needed to be. I've got some masher skills, man. Daphne knows that. I mean, I've got spreadsheets that are just like I'm going to rule the world with spreadsheets. Ask me about an essential oil, any essential oil. I'll make you a great cup of tea. I am quite I'm quite intense when it comes to that. So I use those skills, and I use those skills to help people. That's if I'm not helping somebody every single day. Oh, my, then
Somebody call me.
Then I call up one of my sons. You know, I'm like, so how you doing on that accountability list? And it's beautiful because when you can take all the skills that you've got and share them with the world, man, good things. But when you wear your body down, working at a job that doesn't love you, I mean, I'm still recovering. Here I am 6 months later. And I mean, I smell like wintergreen. I smell like a minty, fresh breath everywhere I go. Because I bathe in that stuff. It takes down the pain. Got to do the things to keep on moving forward because the payout isn't there. It's not in they aren't paying out. We're working on that. Yeah.
Freedom isn't free. And they're not paying for it either. They don't. It's not a well-paying job over here. But like when it comes to your work, find something that you like or that is okay for you, that makes you, doesn't make you grumpy and I see a lot of people that have those jobs that they do not like at all. They've been there too long, or it's just the wrong job right from the start. And they are grumpy people, and they're always angry and they're always snappy, and they're like, they just never just go get a different job. Just,
I know.
Like, seriously,
I know.
just change it. I drive truck and it gets boring too. But what I like about driving truck is I'm a person that needs to be moving. I need to be seeing stuff. I have done the office jobs where I've been a dispatcher and I've just had like 100 and some trucks. We had three different shops, and I was really good at it. But I fell right into the drugs doing that job. And I was always in an office, and it was not for me. Ended up getting very sick from it, from the stress and the abuse, the drug abuse, and everything else. And I just quit. Just boom, quit. And a few days later, I was not sick like I was anymore. That stress was gone. All those phone calls on the phone nonstop, and I just got back into a big truck. Then you're by yourself. You can talk on the phone. You can just
listen
look
to
at
Audible.
Nature. Yeah.
Listen to Audible. Do you listen to audiobooks?
I don't. I'm on the phone a lot with people.
Okay.
I've got quite a few things that I'm involved in right now. So, the Coots boys being the big one there, and getting lots of stuff set up for that to bring more awareness to the Coots 4. I'll say it on here.
Just for a second there, because there's 4 gentlemen in Canada who are in jail.
Yes, in Alberta. They're in Alberta for 707 days now from the Coots blockade, from when we went to Ottawa and did the Ottawa convoy. And I spent 4 months in jail from that. And these boys are still in jail for conspiracy to commit murder against RCMP, which never happened, just set up. And no bail, no trial. They're political prisoners. So, the website is going to be coming out soon, and all the links to all the different pages are going to be there, all the information and everything. They've been advocating for a while now, but these men have been put through the ringer and kept in remand centers too, not even jails.
I can only imagine what their families are going through, their wives, their children.
I'm in contact with a good group of them, and it's not good. Knowing the finances and everything, and But I mean, it's exposing, like you said earlier in our conversation, it's biblical. All
Yeah.
this stuff is it's got to happen to expose what's going on. And the Tony Onlyanick, I think is how you pronounce it. His last name's kind of hard. He's really found the God in jail, and he helps lots of people, and he's staying strong in there. And he's the one I told you spent about $600,000, sold all his equipment and stuff, and the lawyer just up and quit on him. He's still in jail, and so it's exposing how corrupt the lawyers are. They all work together. The prosecutor, the crown, the judges. The one that denied his bail was a liberal appointed judge that has donated 26 times to the Liberal Party.
Wow.
Trudeau's hench girl. So
I've spent a lot of time in the courts over the past few years. It's very important to me to ensure that mothers and daughters and men receive the right court-appointed amount of maintenance enforcement, and I help men and women with that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm an emotional health therapist, so I help you stay the course in those difficult times. I help mothers understand the devastating effect that it has on their children. It's hard to stay the course. It's really a challenge to stay the course, especially when you've been told that you're not worth it. It's hard. It's a big challenge.
Yep. Yeah, it is. And it's coming up from all directions right now. So it's a very, very hard time. But I mean, keep pushing forward in a positive manner. That's what I keep telling people. Do everything from the heart. Find your spirit. Find your higher power. Mine is Jesus, and just keep pushing forward.
Well, I remember when we had the 9/11, and there was so much talk about the others, and so I went and I read Deepak Chopra wrote a book about Muhammad, and I read that, and I was so intrigued by the parallels because Muhammad was also a slave, very much like the coat of many colors. There's so many beautiful traditions in Taoism I've studied, and Ayurvedic medicine. And like you said before, the commonality is love.
Mm-hmm.
It's love. I mean, if we're all uncertain, listen to a little bit of Bob Marley.
Yeah, exactly.
Just listen to Bob.
Got him in my head now.
just listen to Three Little Birds, But we can make a big difference. The music that you listen to does make a difference. The 5 people that you speak to does make a difference. The books you read, the programs you watch, all of it. All of it. Have you, are you a reader, George?
I don't get too much time to read. I listen to most of the stuff. In jail, I read quite a few books in the 4 months I was there. I come home after work here, and I mostly just put on some silly show, and then I fall asleep, and I wake up and I head back to work again. So
I like TV. I'm a TV watcher at night. I have to tune out after this. I'm gonna go and watch a movie with Ralph, because that's when the demons get into the mind when you're tired, and you start beating yourself up for not doing enough throughout the day. And Daphne and I watched a lot of Yellowstone. Oh my God. So I've owned my inner Beth on a few occasions just to.
Did you watch 1883 and 1923?
Not very much. I jumped over onto the what was the bull riding one I was watching, Daph? I love bull riders, and there was a series of I was a professional bull riding. Come on, you and Doug told me about it.
The Cowboy Way.
The Cowboy Way. Daphne was, geez, I'm not very good at this pointing thing. Daphne was a barrel racer, and Doug was a bull rider. So I've got it in my fam.
Oh yeah, very done. Yeah, no. So if you like Yellowstone, 1923, I believe, is the one before Yellowstone, and then 1823 is the one that leads up to 1923. It's all about Yellowstone, but before, and how they got there. Yeah, you'll if you like Yellowstone, you'll like those. It's 19.
Those are good ones too.
Yeah, Yeah,
I
they're
was
really
a big
good.
Peaky Blinders. I was a big Peaky Blinders fan.
Yeah, I never got into that one.
Oh, see, I had a client, and I have a client. We haven't spoken for a while, but he used to call me Aunt Polly all the time. And I remember saying to him, like, honey, are you drinking? He's like, no, Aunt Polly. And I'm like, it's Nance. And he's like, yeah, I know, Aunt Polly. And I'm like, so I'm messaging my son. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? He's like, have you not seen Peaky Blinders? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, LOL. He's just referring to you as that character. And
Oh,
Aunt
see.
Polly was a very strong character in that movie. And we're all living the hero's journey. So if you can determine what your character is, like who inspires you? They inspire you because you've got that in you.
Mel Gibson for me, William Wallace.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah, I'm all painted up with my face blue, and yeah, I haven't done that in a while. But I was for a couple of years, every rally I went to and stuff, I was all painted up
Yeah,
and pushing forward. Yeah, put freedom all over everything.
I love that.
So
I love that.
yeah, well, even when I was in jail, the little story is, they put you into a quarantine thing when I got arrested for 13 days or whatever, and then they wanted to stick that swab up my nose, and I wouldn't take it in order to get out of there. So I was in there for a while, and so they give you pencils and pens and stuff to draw with and that, and every single brick inside of my cell said freedom on it. Down the one side of the door frame was 75 times it said freedom, 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 all around the doors, everywhere. This whole cell, roof, bed, everywhere was freedom. And
Wow.
so finally they were going to move me out of there. And the guard opens the door and he just stands back, and I had a 7-foot cross drawn on the wall, like 1 foot wide, big 7-foot cross, and a 3-foot one and a 2-foot one. I was using a game board that they had in there to
Okay.
trace it out, so it was all like straight. It was like beautiful cross, right? And
Oh,
anyways, the guard opens the door and he goes, "Oh, hey," and I just looked at him and I said, "Freedom." I'm so sick of hearing freedom, he said. I said, "Well, let me out of here then."
oh my
All
God.
the people in the jail rattling the bars, screaming freedom. Hey, oh my God. It was, I didn't stop working in there. I got a cross from my Bible tattooed on my arm in jail with, I guess I shouldn't do it that way because it was upside down, but there it is. And yeah, I learned how to do tattoos, learned how to make, I made the best of it, learned how to make alcohol and all that stuff in there, and tried to help out as many people as I could while I was in there, talk some sense into them and educate them about what was going on, on the outside. Plant those seeds. That's all you can really do.
Yeah, plant the seeds.
Yeah.
Plant the seeds one at a time, right? It makes a big, big difference. Every day, deliberate intention. If you can say and write down, articulate to somebody else 3 things that you're going to do. Imperfect action.
You got to realize, most people don't think about it, but that one person that you changed that day, they have a family, right? They have family and they have friends as well. So that one person that you changed, you planted that seed with, they're going home, and that seed's going to grow. And what's it going to do? Right?
Yeah.
So you might think you're not doing much by going out there, spreading the truth, being nice and kind, whatever it is. But in actuality, you have no idea what your impact from that little tiny good thing you've done, even if it's just spreading the truth or whatever it is, does at their home. And then guess what that does? That grows into somebody else's home. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
almost a mic drop moment right there.
Pretty
Keep
much,
spreading the
right?
love, right?
Yeah.
How about a
Keep
pen drop?
love. Well, and when you put all that effort in, when you've got a dream big enough for God to fit in. I remind people of that. And just if you can put your effort into that dream and invite other people into your dream, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. So yeah, keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. Keep honking those horns lovingly, of course. Always lovingly, do.
Yeah, my horn doesn't sound very good then. from the convoy even haven't got it fixed yet. But it kind of works when you're driving, but it crapped out before I even left Alberta. So on the way over there, they were honking it so much, and
Well,
then
Nancy,
when I hit my door lock, it just goes, yeah.
well, there was that one year that the Oilers had made it to the playoffs, and we were all driving around town honking horns. I remember my husband blew his horn out because celebrating honking the horn for the Oilers. It's a sad horn when they blow out.
Yeah, you know, it's just sad. Being an Oiler fan's kind of sad too, I guess. So, whoa.
Hey man, they've won 13 in a row now. Stop it. They're
I
on.
have
They're
no idea.
the comeback kids.
I haven't watched one hockey game at all. No sports, whatever. Ever since COVID.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
these guys could all go out and play and everything else, and the kids couldn't even play on the freaking pond outside. No, I don't.
That was hard.
I used to watch curling even, and I don't watch any sports at all anymore. None. No football, nothing. Go screw yourself. Sorry, but it's just the way I am.
That's okay. You know what?
And
the
same as Amazon. I haven't bought one thing from Amazon either since my awakening. I was like, nope. I'll pay the extra money from the company that built the darn thing.
Well, when we decide what we want to support and what we don't want to support, we draw that line.
No, that's where the boundary is.
That's a boundary. You can draw a line in the sand, or you can dig a moat. Dig a moat around your castle. Dig a moat around your castle, right? Because if you open up your gate to let the dogs in, they're going to shit in your backyard.
Yeah, then you're going to step in it.
And then you're stepping in it. Thanks, George. It's been an absolute blast. Like an absolute
blast.
Problem.
Yeah, it's nice seeing you face to face again. I haven't seen you in a long time. So
I know it's been a long time. So, and I'm out of here. I'm going to Mexico. I'm gone in 1 week. So,
how long are you going for? Forever?
Almost a month. Almost a month.
I'll wait till you're back before I come and try and take over the city.
Deal. We'll have a cup of tea.
I know there's some tyrants around there somewhere.
We'll have a cup of tea. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much. Until next time.
It was nice meeting you, Daphne.
Nice meeting you too, George. Have a wonderful evening. Have a magical evening.
So until next time, and there will be a next time, I guarantee it.
You bet you, girls. Keep up the good work out there. Take care, okay?